Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate. Thank you all so much for joining us. This is episode 51 of our Star Wars Unlimited podcast. Yes, folks, we have two podcasts if you didn't know, and with the closing of Worlds for AMG, we've had a couple of newer shows with some SL stuff for XWA released for X-Wing. So if you like X-Wing, you want to continue playing it, check out our other podcasts here on this channel. With that being said, we have a pretty exciting night tonight. We had two bigger tournaments that happened this weekend. One of them was won by a Jango, maybe. The other one maybe was won by a Jango. We don't know for sure. Just kidding. We do know for sure, but we're not going to cover the Jango list just as an FYI. We're just going to gloss over them. But we are going to talk a little bit about the meta results. And we already talked last week what we think that FFG can do. So we're not really going to hash that out tonight. We'll know Wednesday, specifically what AMG is going to, or FFG is going to do. And I think that's kind of good enough for it is. What's more exciting, though, is we have spoilers already for Legends of the Force. I'm very excited for the spoilers for this set. It's not just going to be a bunch of piloting stuff. It's going to be a bunch of Force users. So I've got some notes. We're going to get going. We're going to talk a little bit about what the leaders could possibly be, as well as the spoilers for the new set. With that being said, let me bring my co-host in for the night. Please welcome Alex, the Benchwarmer. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing okay. I've just been testing out some decks, including that trench deck, and it is still bonkers. Still working on maybe adjusting anything. But I'm excited for a bunch of the new stuff that they spoiled. Looks pretty wild.
Yeah. Also joining me tonight is JJ, the X-Wing champion.
Not a world champion, but I am a team champion. But I am excited to be back. I had a great time at Adepticon. They had tons and tons and tons of tables where they were doing draft and sealed events for JTL. And I didn't get to play on any of them, unfortunately, but I did get a few games of Twin Suns after rounds and stuff like that. Had an absolute blast playing Green Boba with Fennec Shand. And man, big shout out to Andrew Kuba, who played with me a few rounds, and we had a blast over at Worlds at Adepticon.
Yeah, you were gone the other week. It was just Alex and I and his buddy on the helm. So that was kind of fun. We had a new guest. I like bringing guests on. I think that's like a thing we should do more often, I swear. Yeah. We never do enough of that.
It's fun.
It is. So the fun thing will be I don't know. I didn't play a ton of SWU this weekend. I'll be honest with you. They had some streams up. I did watch some of the streams. That was kind of a thing that I had going for me, but I didn't play a lot. I kind of ducked out of my Saturday locals. The kids have spring break. I just kind of didn't feel, I don't know. I didn't feel empowered to go play, and maybe I should have, but I didn't feel the power. So I did not go and play. I did play on Wednesday at my locals, and I took the trench deck and I won the first round of games. The second one ended up in an ID, and the third one I lost to Han Green. I will tell you that is the most intensive deck I've ever played. That's more than Thrawn.
It is so difficult to play.
Like it's. By the way, I got a trench showcase, so
Nice.
I couldn't help myself. And I traded with somebody and got one pretty relatively cheap, so I couldn't help myself, and I got it. And again, I probably shouldn't have, but I did, and we'll see how that works. And so so I'm very excited about that, being able to put that. I think trench actually could possibly be decent going forward, right? Like in later sets. I don't know if it won't be bad. So I think it might be good.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you get cards, maybe that anything that's like activating when deploy leaders, right? Like those bases where it's like, hey, if you deployed your leader, you draw a card. And the trench deploys multiple times. So if they ever print more cards that of like, hey, when you deploy your leader, I don't know how that works, but I don't know. There's always that possibility.
Yeah. And just being able to tutor through your deck, I actually I did not run out of cards, and that was like everybody thought that, like I cycled through my deck. And the sad thing is if you restock incorrectly the first time, you have to then wait till you empty your deck out so you can restock correctly.
Those search those feelings, man. Shuffle that deck. Take those restock cards and throw them somewhere else.
Yeah. So it was. I thought it was pretty exciting. I was pretty happy about it. So. Well, you guys want to get into some spoilers? So we do spoilers first. Like I don't know why we have spoilers this early, but we have spoilers this early, so I feel like we have to kind of go through spoilers. So, welcome to our Galactic Gazette, where we talk about news and spoilers. All right. Welcome to our Galactic Gazette. We have some news and spoilers tonight. We got not much news. We got mostly spoilers. But we are going to talk a little bit actually about the changes. So if you haven't watched the stream yet, this is kind of going to be your like 5-minute recap. How about that? Like we'll give you every change that they're going to happen that they've revealed so far in 5 minutes, and then we'll talk a little bit about the spoilers that they gave us. I haven't decided how we're going to handle spoilers this season, because like last season we did nothing but talk spoilers, and like all of our episodes are just so damn long. I don't know how we're going to do it this time. So we're internally discussing whether we're going to cover every spoiler, or if we're just going to like cover some of the good ones that we like. I don't know how we're going to do that, but I am a little excited. We got OG Darth Maul, but before we get into the actual cards, the big thing that they had that they talked about, right, was that they are going to have a brand new mechanic called Force Tokens. And the way Force Tokens work is you cannot stack them. They are a singular token, and I don't think I stupidly put a picture of a token.
Just a binary thing is either you have it or you don't.
Yes. Which is very exciting to me, because they're like, it's kind of like if you're a Force user, you don't have to have like Yoda who gets 3 tokens, right? Like in X-Wing, you only get 1, and it's a lot easier, I think, to track. The other big thing about the Force tokens is other cards that say Force, while they don't generate the token, other cards that say Force qualify for it. So, for example, your Luke Skywalker, who has the Force trait, or your Grogu with a lightsaber who has a Force trait, triggers these specific cards to get Force tokens.
Right? Like some of the bases are like, hey, if you attack with a Force unit, you get the Force, and those would kind of count. But I don't think it's like literally every time you attack with them, something has to specifically say so.
You have to have the base that says so. Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't know how this is going to stay. It's going to change, like kind of the way piloting changed things a little bit. This is also going to be kind of a mechanic that's going to change things. Like I'm a little unsure. Like if you attack with a Force unit, spend your Force on a card, then attack with another Force unit, get your thing back. Like you could get multiple Force in one turn. Is that going to be very important? Is it just going to slow you down? Or aggro deck's just going to take you over? We don't know all those things yet. But I do know that like you are going to be able to run a very Force specific deck. If you are going to the Galactic Championship this year, there's a good chance that the Force decks will be a thing. I will probably be running a Force deck just because I can. Or I'll be running a trench. Maybe I'll run a trench deck. There you go. I'll run a Force trench deck. Ooh.
I was going to say a Force trench deck. Yeah.
Shall we do that? Shall Tanner run a Force trench deck? But essentially, they have 2 new bases, and the way that the bases are going to be for these, they're going to be 28 health, and then you're going to get where it generates a Force token for you after a Force unit attacks, and they're going to have them on all 4 colors. That's going to be the base. All the base sets are going to be that. You're not going to get a 30 health base set, period. So when we do draft and sealed, you're getting 28 health bases, but they do have a couple of rare bases they haven't told us about that have other mechanics that'll probably be less health, is my guess. So we're getting new rare bases again. It seems crazy to me again. But
I thought it was the Force ones are the rare bases, but I guess I'm mistaken.
Yes, all the rare bases are going to be something different. The common bases are all going to be 28 health, and they're gonna have 2 sets of each ones, the same way as they have all the other ones. So you're guaranteed to be getting a Force base this time. And the reason they said that, Alex, is because they wanted to be able to have it played in your draft and sealed environments. That's why.
Yeah,
So.
Sorry, I see this now in the thing. It's like, hey, common bases only have 28.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is okay. I mean, I think it's cool. I will tell you, if you could build a Force deck, who cares about 2 health, right? Like, you're probably restoring that health anyway. Oh man, just Obi. I'm already thinking of an Obi blue or Obi green deck just right now. Like, just so good. So yeah, the other mechanic, they have a second new mechanic, or sure we're going to learn about, is called Hidden. And Hidden is a new keyword. So it will trigger off of your cards that talk about keywords, old school Boba Fett. And you're going to be able to basically, the way that the card comes in that has Hidden is it cannot be killed from combat damage. So it's kind of like that. It's a Sabine, that when Sabine's exhausted, you cannot kill her.
No, it just can't be attacked.
Yes.
If it was played that phase.
Yes, you cannot kill it with combat damage. You could kill it with card damage or spell effects, but you cannot kill it with combat damage.
If I have a Blizzard AT-AT that does the overwhelming access into another unit, I can kill it.
Okay, you're one
in
weird
that very
niche.
unlikely scenario.
Yeah,
hey, they can't be attacked if it was played that phase. That's all it says. It's like the Sabine Yellow, like you were saying, where that's exhausted. It can't be attacked.
Yep. They also are only going to give it to green, red, and yellow. So blue, you're out of luck. You don't get any hidden.
They're too noticeable, I guess.
Yeah. So, they probably should have just given it to green and red and not even given it to yellow. But
yellow's the weakest color,
and
it needs more buffs.
Mm-hmm. The other 2 notable things is they said that the year will be more than 3 eras. So there is going to be 3 different eras that the cards come from. I will be a little hesitant to say we're going to get a bunch of oddball stuff, but we'll see. No, we're not getting an oddball unit.
I was going to say,
you don't know that.
I'm pretty sure we are. I'm pretty sure we're not. I would put money on it. I would wager a showcase on it. How about that?
God, I wish they just create an oddball card that just pilots every ship simultaneously. That'd be great.
Hey, if we're getting Skippy the Force Ghost, I'm A-okay with that.
You're not getting Skippy the Force Ghost. Good lord.
Force droid. It's my favorite Force character.
Stop it. JJ, you're not the Simpsons. You don't get to if Skippy the Force Ghost comes out, then we know JJ's a tester, and then you're off the podcast.
That just outs JJ at this point. Like,
we're done with you.
After what? I guess Rose out of all people.
You guess Quinlan.
Yeah,
Quinlan's more impressive.
Right.
Yeah,
so wild.
Well, we're gonna do way too early predictions here in a few minutes, so I'm excited to see JJ's crazy BS picks. But the other thing that they said too is they're gonna call out. You're gonna have new cards that will call out creature traits. So all these creatures that we've seen before, some of these cards are going to act with them, and I hope that means I could build a Jabba deck that actually is successful.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Oh man, I cannot wait for that. That would be so much fun. I could finally put my Jabba showcase to use outside of Twin Suns.
Yeah, I would love to see like all the creatures from that chessboard thing that they played in episode 4, Jarek. With all the things that that Chewbacca was losing against the droids with and stuff like that. Would be cool to see like all those individual creatures as like cards that you can play in a Jabba deck. That'd be great.
I just don't play Let the Loki win. Yeah, great.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. And Rancors. So the last thing that they talked about was all the leaders. So I'm going to state this in case neither one of you watch the stream. All of the leaders are force traded leaders this set. Every leader is. So unlike the other ones that are we're not all pilots. These interact with the force in some which way. That doesn't mean that they are going to be force oriented, right? Like they just are going to be force traded characters. So, which I cannot wait till we do predictions because I got some crazy wild ones that I got for you. So, all right. Well, let's actually talk about the new cards. Alex, do you want Darth Maul or Qui-Gon Jinn?
I'll just do Darth Maul, right?
All right.
Look at this amazing artwork that looks like they just traced right over the movie, but probably didn't.
It
looks good.
It looks exactly like the movie. Which means he
Yeah,
has two
so-
legs.
Yes. I have no idea if he has more than 2 legs at any point. Darth Maul, Sith revealed, is a aggression villainy leader. Not surprising there. As an action, you can exhaust him and then use the Force, which means you lose your Force token. And then you deal 1 damage to a unit, and then 1 damage to a different unit. He comes out on 6, and he's a 5/6 with the Force and the Sith trait. And on attack, deal 1 damage to a unit, and then 1 to a different unit. Makes sense with the lightsaber.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of attack for a 6 flip.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I don't really think it's super. I don't know. It's okay.
If you can generate a lot of the Force, I mean, pinging 2 units instead of 1 is pretty strong.
Yeah. I don't know.
Again, if you can generate a lot of Force.
If you can. I think the big thing is they lowered his attack power to 6 now. So like it's or to 5, which sucks because like otherwise you'd be able to use him against like Quinlan or Jango, and now you specifically can't kill them that way. You have to upgrade him to do it. Whereas his other leader from set 2 or set 3, I don't know, whatever set he's in.
Set 3
is a 6/6/6. So no, it's set 2.
Okay.
Remember, this is pre-stab in the gut Maul, so he doesn't have enough hate to get that extra attack. So
is that why?
Perfect.
He hasn't had his legs cut off yet. So
yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know. I think it's okay. I don't think it's like super crazy. I hope it's competitive enough because I really like Maul and I really want to play Maul a lot. And so does my son. My son really likes Maul too. So I don't know. We'll see. Some of the cards. This is where I'm a little bit more excited. So I forgot to tell you. So Maul is a spotlight leader. So there will be a spotlight deck for him specifically. And he's getting a card called Darth Sidious, which I'm super excited for. I love this card so much. I'm so happy we get Pelp for another like 8 months. Like, oh my gosh, like, oh, this is gonna be so good. And like the artwork on this is just amazing. Like you got Pelp and you got the guy in the background. What's his name? JJ. It's not Rune Hako. It's Viceroy. Newt Gunray. There you go.
Yeah.
This is a 6/8 Force Separatist Sith with 2 restore. And it says, when played, you may use the Force. If you do, defeat each non-Sith unit with 3 or less remaining health. So, like,
wild.
Like this is the legendary. That's a special card. I don't know. Like this is crazy. Like I think that's like so far that's like one of the best cards in villain. I feel that's like one of the best cards in villain, especially now that we have indirect damage going around. Like, can you imagine? Like, let me build an indirect damage deck to work with you, and then play Darth Sidious and say, "Oh, sorry, everybody's dead."
Yeah, I feel like this has to go with green, right? You want to ramp up to get this out as soon as possible, right? Just so I can destroy your damn Vader deck that keeps on wrecking me with all the stupid TIE fighters.
JJ, what if I played in yellow and then just now there are 2 of them?
Oh my god! Oh,
there's so many Force units
and
Sith units,
and
especially if you're building a Sith unit like deck, right? Because it's each non-Sith unit, so that includes your own. So if you just have a deck full of Sith, it's whatever.
I think this is like a legendary type card. Like this feels real. Like they gave it Restorer 2 on top of that, right?
Well, they needed to give it something, honestly, because 3 or less health, and you're playing it for 8. There's probably not going to be an insane amount of stuff that has 3 or less health, especially if you're playing like blue villainy kind of control. So, I mean, that's cool. I like Palpatine. We'll see how very effective it is.
Fair enough. All right, JJ, what is the next card?
Next one here is going to be the 2-cost Drain Essence, which is a Force card, coming in with the blue and villainy aspect, and it reads: deal 2 damage to a unit. the Force is with you, create a Force token. Definitely really interesting, right? Especially if your deck relies on having the Force there. Being able to do just a quick 2 damage there, kind of like a more expensive Daring Raid. You're paying one more for it, but it's still a decent amount of damage, and being able to regenerate a Force after doing that to help you play other Force reliant cards. It's a pretty good way to have that in the pocket there, especially if you could combo it off later on in the turn. Definitely we'll probably see some play if you're focusing on Force heavy constructed decks. And yeah, pretty decent for the cost.
All right. I like the artwork on it too. There's Kylo and Rey, so there's some hope here. We'll talk about that later.
I think the artwork on this is really awesome. A hyperspace version of this would be crazy.
Yeah. All right, Alex, what's the next one?
I got Darth Maul's lightsaber. Look at that. It is a 3-cost upgrade, still red villainy, attached to a friendly non-vehicle unit, like all lightsabers. When attacked, if the attached unit is Darth Maul, you may attack with him. For this attack, he gains Overwhelm and can't attack bases. And it's just a casual +4/+2.
Yeah. And I don't think he cares about the Overwhelm, right? Like, or the can't attack bases because he has Overwhelm.
Oh, yeah, he's got Overwhelm. He's totally fine.
And he gets to ping 2 things. So he gets to ping the unit he's killing and then overwhelm it to the base on top of that.
But Tanner, which Darth Maul are you going to attach this to? Set 5 Darth Maul or set 3 Darth Maul leader? Where then you become a 10/8 Overwhelm. Yeah. That's already overwhelming.
That's really good.
It's better there, except for Rivals Fall happens in the same turn. He's just cry a little bit every time.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what happened in the movies. It's fine.
So I do have a rules question on it, right? Because with this new Maul, you can deal a damage out, right, to a unit. If that damage, let's say you're attacking a unit, and that unit has 1 health left, you ping the damage, the last damage on that unit before the attack goes through. Does now the rest of your attack go through to the base?
Yes,
they ruled it works that way.
It should not. 100% should never work that way, but it does.
Yeah, so play it with the 6/6 Maul, and then ping I guess it would be the small, right? Yeah, so hit something, ping it 1 damage, and they just eat 9 to the base because. Why not?
You don't forget also play it with a 5-cost Maul too, right?
I was just about to say that. Don't forget the 5-cost Maul.
Who hits 2 things.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's so stupid. That's
my gosh.
I don't think it's going to be that big of a thing, but we'll see. I mean, can you just imagine, like, here I'm going to attack 2 different units? Like, actually, I have a quick question. How does that actually work with Sentinel? You can't attack the same unit twice, can you?
No.
So you would just attack the Sentinel and your second attack would just fizzle. Okay.
Unless they have 2 Sentinels.
Unless they have 2 Sentinels. Yep.
Yes, then you attack both.
All right.
For, a casual 9 damage for two things.
Yeah. Like, this actually just is so much better on Darth Maul unit. Like, this is just good on Darth Maul unit. So. All right. The next one is the Scimitar, which is cool. We got a Scimitar in the game now.
I'm back. Yeah.
And it's the best colored Scimitar there is. It is a 4-cost villainy only, 3/4. It's a Sith, by the way, vehicle transport. And while this unit is damaged, it gets +3. So Darth Maul can damage himself and give this thing +3 attack.
Yeah, and then it becomes a 6/4 minus whatever damage you did to it.
Yep. Very synergistic. Very cool.
You know who would love this? Pilot Asajj.
Oh yeah, just throw her on there.
Because you automatically do the 1 damage with your on attack if you choose, which means you're damaged. So now you have 6, but also you have grit, so it's like 7.
Oh man!
Plus whatever Asajj gives you. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I was thinking Rio, but yeah, no, Asajj definitely. Oh
man, I hope they have a prestige of this card. If they have a prestige of this card, I'm buying this. Like all the prestiges. I will have a full set of prestiges for the card.
And 14 vultures.
And don't forget that Asajj is a Force unit as well.
Yep.
So not a Sith, but like or right? But like, it is a force unit.
All right. What's the last one, JJ? We got Savage.
So yeah, Savage Press coming back again. This time in 6 cost, 9 attack, and 6 health. This thing is a monster. Comes in with Overwhelm, and then it reads: when played or when defeated, you may use the Force. If you don't, deal 9 damage to your base. So this absolutely just wants to attack as much as possible while having the Force, just so you don't wreck yourself by mistake. And that's why having the cards like the one that we saw earlier, which gives you the Force, the Drain Essence, is very important to enable this huge attack that comes in. This can absolutely wreck something really big at 6 costs. So yeah, definitely really good to have that set up there. And then if you give it a Fallen's Lightsaber on top of that, I mean that's just 12 damage casually. That's just going to go into somebody's base. So yeah,
Just, man, don't lose that unit immediately when you play it.
yeah, exactly.
Because that's rough. Pay 6 resources, do 9 damage to your base.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now you could ECL this though, right? Like, so if you have a Force unit, you spend your Force when you play him, then you ECL him in, he hits, does the Overwhelm, dies, you get a Force token back anyway because you attacked with him, and then you get to
your
spend
base
it.
is ECL, Tanner, not the base that lets you get Force when you attack with Force units.
Shit. All right. Yeah, so this is
yeah.
a trash card. There you go. I'll just say it now.
Timely intervention.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
There you go.
Timely it out.
All right. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like that card that much. I will say
high risk, high reward.
Yeah, 9/6 though. That's pretty good. So it's like better stats than Wreckers. So.
Yeah, it's a bigger wrecker.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the next leader. We have Qui-Gon Jinn. Somehow he's a student, but he's really not the student because isn't he like one of the most powerful Force users? Period. Right? He's like up there.
He
right?
discovered how to commune after you die, so I mean that's pretty high.
I was gonna say I think he's like one of the top 3 behind Yoda.
Yeah, for sure.
New lore you guys have.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, welcome to
any of the movies.
Yeah, welcome to podcast where JJ and I know too much about Star Wars. JJ and I could sit here and debate Star Wars. We argued. Don't you remember? We argued about whether Ahsoka was or not Ahsoka. Sabine was going to have the Force or not in the show Ahsoka, and guess who was right? It wasn't JJ. It was Tanner. So I'm going to rub that in your face every time you see. Yeah. That's there you go. That's what you need. Is you need that shirt, the Twin Sun shirt, and then on the back that says Tanner's always right though. All right, JJ, tell us about Qui-Gon Jinn.
All right, so we got Student of the Living Force, Qui-Gon Jinn here. He comes in with the Force Jedi and Republic trait, and it reads: action, use the Force, return a friendly non-leader unit to its owner's hand, play a non-villainy unit that costs less than the returned unit from your hand for free. Deploys on 6, and it is a 4/7. And the ability reads: when this unit completes an attack, you may return a friendly non-leader unit to its owner's hand, and then play a non-villainy unit that costs less than the returned unit from your hand for free. Definitely works really well for stuff that for cards that work with when played, and or even units that have ambush on it. That could be really, really good as well. Just allows you to cycle in units that may have been damaged or that have lost like a shield, and then lay them out again with the shield out there. Just helps you recycle those abilities out there really good. Could help really well too when your opponent has a big attack coming and you need to cycle out a unit from your that's already attacked, and put out a unit that has a sentinel, so that way you can force your opponent to attack that sentinel out there. A lot of great utility for Qui-Gon's ability, and the fact that you can do it without spending the force on while Qui-Gon is deployed as a leader is an even bigger benefit there. So definitely going to see some play with this particular card.
All right. Do you just quick question, Alex? Do you like it? Do you think? I feel this is pretty good, actually. Like,
I mean, yeah, you can swap out like a unit that's damaged for another unit, or swap something that's ambush right after you already attacked with one of your units. You know, swap in a sentinel like village protectors or something, and just keep swapping them in. Just keep getting them shielded. It's fine. Just swap 2 of them.
Yeah. It feels really good. Like, this feels better. I mean, maybe we're gonna get some really cool broken stuff, but like this feels pretty up there.
I mean, it does like technically trade down, right? Because you do have to pay for less, so it's slightly diminishing returns. But again, just like cycling things out is pretty nice.
I mean, I would love to swap in like a Cantina Bouncer after I've attacked with like a big unit. I'm like, oh, bye. See ya.
Or switch from the Bouncer to something else and then play the Bouncer next turn and just keep bouncing things.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or swap in the Millennium Falcon that comes in ready.
Oh, man, that's
after
good.
you did something else.
So dirty. All right, so we're going to move on. Alex, we got a new Obi-Wan for 3, and it's green?
Yeah, it's a young Obi-Wan. Look at that.
It's a baby Obi.
Yeah, so it's, like we said, Obi-Wan. It is a 3/5 for 3. It is a green and hero. Force Jedi Republic. When you play a Force unit, including this one, this unit gets Sentinel for this phase. So, I mean, 3/5 stat line for 3 is pretty strong, especially if it's conditional Sentinel and a Force user.
Yeah, and they did say that they were going to buff the they were going to buff some of the ground units with a little bit more health this turn.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine, I guess. Like, we are seeing the power creep a little bit in some of the decks now. So I can't imagine like it's gonna get more. And like, I mean, God, can you imagine like if all your units only had 4 health for 3 costs and Overwhelming Barrage just wrecks multiple things like it has been? This will make some of those other cards a little bit less powerful. So I like it. I like this Obi. I'm happy that he's green too. So so he can be played, like, you can play him. He's a Republic, so he's not going to work with Rebel, thank God. Because that would be really bad. If
I
like
see him in like a Luke deck, right? You just play him and then shield him and have a lot of Force units already, and then, you know, just put on a Jedi's lightsaber or a General's blade or both. Why not? Have fun. Go wild.
Yeah, and basically, if you're playing almost all Force, he's just going to trigger every turn. You know,
every time you play a unit.
Yeah, so
can't play Force row and give him Sentinel.
Fair enough. All right, the next one we have is Refugee of the Path. It is a 1 cost hero only 0/3 Force and Fringe unit. When played, you give a shield token to a unit with Sentinel. So, there you go, Obi-Wan. So turn 3, I get to put Obi and shield him with Luke, and then the next turn I could play Refugee of the Path and shield him again. like, oh no. And it's a Force unit.
Yeah, and then, you know, Qui-Gon, you play something and then pick it up, and then you put the Refugee of the Path down. It's fine.
So
play Obi-Wan. Well, no, you probably don't want to do that. But play something else, and then play Qui-Gon, and then just replace whatever you played with the Refugee of the Path. Just do whatever.
Yeah. All right. The next one we got is an Anakin.
Yeah, so we got young Annie, the little slave boy. He comes in at 1 cost, yellow and hero aspect with a 1 attack, 1 force, or 1 defense, and it has Force and Fringe. It does have the hidden aspect on it, and it also has shielded on it there. as well. Just a cheap unit they can deploy in there. He can go in and attack, and then get the force, and then give it to Qui-Gon. So you can probably swap out a better unit and bring in, I don't know, another Sentinel piece, and hopefully do something with it.
All right, so he's not a slave child, JJ. That sounds horrible when you said that. He
was.
He's
him and his mom were slaves.
He's a Force prodigy.
Yes, but they were still de facto slaves. That was the entire plot of Phantom Menace for the whole pod race thing.
I'm just saying, slave boy just sounds horrible.
He was a slave boy.
No, he was a boy who happened to be a slave. Anyway.
Okay, that's fair.
Whatever. This card, I think this card is built just for Qui-Gon. Like, other than that, I'm not playing this card. So, all right, next one we have is Qui-Gon's Aether Sprite.
I had no idea he even flew one.
I don't think he did, but who cares? The thing's awesome.
Yeah. Alex, what is this one?
Yeah, so Qui-Gon Jinn's Aether Sprite. Probably just the Delta 7, right? Not the 7B. It's a 3/6 for 5 yellow heroic. It's a Jedi Republic vehicle fighter. On attack, the next time you use a when played ability of this phase, you may use that ability again. Wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. It will work with the next card that we're doing. It works with the Refugee La Path, right? Give two shielded units Sentinel. But also, like, so many other cards get like crazy when played effects, right? And just do it twice. Seems very, very good.
Yeah. When we get closer, we'll break down all the when played stuff, because there's a lot. There's a lot of when played stuff.
Just bounce two things with Edvis Nest, right? Or oh my, there's so much cool stuff. Again, there's way too much to
it's like a light side Thrawn, basically. Yeah,
it's wild. Reverse Thrawn.
All right, the last one is probably the most exciting one for a lot of people, because this one comes specifically from a video game, meaning FFG has been allowed to officially acknowledge video game lore as canon and bringing it in. We have the Stinger Mantis, which Cal, I don't think Cal, did he ever pilot it? He does pilot it.
Yeah, he does.
In later on, yeah, he doesn't pilot it to begin with. Anyway, this is the Stinger Mantis. It is a 5-cost 4/6 fringe vehicle transport. This is a when played, you may deal 2 damage to an exhausted unit. So Qui-Gon and Stinger work very well together. And yeah, you can put a Han pilot, you can put all sorts of crazy stuff into these things, and it's going to be super good. And it's a 4/6, so it's a pretty decently statted unit as well, for the 5 cost. And it is an uncommon, so pretty much this can be, a lot of people will be able to play this. What this means is we're probably getting something from Fallen, the Jedi, what is it called? Fallen Order.
Fallen Order,
yeah, Fallen Order. We're probably getting stuff from Fallen Order. I would like to see Cal and his bow. That would be pretty sweet to have her in there too.
Yeah.
She is a Night Sister as well, so she kind of like fits some of the theme that we might see. But I don't know. I like this ship. I think this ship's pretty good for what it is. Like,
yeah, I mean, a 4/6 for 5 that does 2 damage basically when it comes out. Doesn't seem too bad. And that transport keyword actually does do quite some things with pilots if you're able to play pilots, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the end of the spoilers. I was excited. It is I think the set feels exciting. I know there's some people that may not find this exciting. And yes, it is typical, hey, we're doing Star Wars. We got to do Force stuff. I don't know. We haven't had a ton of Force focus in the past, and now we're getting a full set of Force focus stuff. We all thought Legends meant we're going to get a bunch of legendary characters. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we'll see. You never know. Now we get to do a fun segment. We're going to definitely do a 4-cost segment tonight. I'm so excited to do this, especially because I want to see what crazy shit JJ has cocked up for us. But we are going to do in way too early predictions, because we can. And that's how we're going to play that game. So welcome to our For a Cause segment. All right. Are you ready for some way too early predictions? I feel like I need like a little dice roller on here, like so I know who gets to go first. So I don't know how we're going to choose who gets to go first. I'm excited. I don't know about you guys.
I do have a quick question. I just wanted to make
Yes.
sure I heard it right. So they're only sticking with the 3 common eras, right? We're not going into like High Republic, right?
They didn't say that.
Okay.
They did not
say
say
everyone has the Force.
They just said everybody has a Force. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Jay's just gonna pull something from like the side subtitle of a book somewhere from 30 years ago.
I have 2 particular people in mind that
right here in the index, it mentions this guy. He's gonna be the next leader, and then he will be, because that's just how this has been going.
It says the way they said it on the stream was more than the normal 3 eras. That's how they explained it. So I am somewhat believing we will get High Republic stuff, but I don't know. Like that's really pushing it. I think that's a little too early, especially because High Republic has only been a book series. Period. Hasn't been in a video game or anything else yet. So I'm not super sold that we'll get that, but we might get some Old Republic stuff, right? That would be a little bit more likely, I think, because it's been around longer. But I don't know. We'll see. So. All right. Well, who wants to go first? All right, Alex, you don't like this, so we'll let JJ go first.
I was gonna say you should let me go first.
Okay,
because
you go
I know
first.
significantly less about Star Wars than you guys.
All
so
right,
I
you go
can't
first.
like steal stuff. Where are we writing this down?
I'm
not writing this down right.
Yeah, I have it on the screen. I have a new document called Set 5 Predictions. I'll send you a link in a second.
Sure. Okay. So, I've got let's do something easy. We're gonna go with villainy, and we're gonna go with Mother Talzin because that is on the box art, and I just found out who this is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm gonna go with. Nice and easy. Let's do green. Right? Sure. Why not green?
All right. Good pick, JJ.
All right. We saw this happen, and Tanner was right. So I'm gonna pick green hero, and it's gonna be Sabine Wren.
Green heroes. Sabine. I am right. So, all right. Well, my first pick before any of you get to say it is blue, and it's going to be Darth Bane. Because if I don't get a Darth Bane this set, I'm going to kill somebody. So how about that? And that is like a showcase that the minute it goes on sale, I'm buying it. Like I don't like the day the set releases, I'm buying. I will buy that showcase.
Is that the one from KOTOR?
From KOTOR?
Yes,
it is the one from KOTOR.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually would put him in green more than blue. I think he feels more of a green, but yeah, that's still good.
No, I'm putting him in blue. Darth Bane is my favorite character, hands down, of everything. Just period, all around the board. So, all right, Alex, you're up next.
Yikes. Okay. I guess I'll switch over to hero. Let's do yellow. Let's do Ahsoka. Why not have a new leader? Seems pretty like that was like a younger Ahsoka, right? That we had in set 3. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure she aged.
She did, and she was a big part of Rebels. So
there you go.
And she has her own book, which was amazing. Man, we just go on. We just turn this into the Star Wars lore show. Like I can talk for hours. Like, hey JJ, remember that book? Remember when Palpatine and Vader landed on the planet, and Vader's like, I don't know, I feel something wrong here, guys.
Remember when Vader fought the people from Soul Calibur? Does that count?
No. All right, JJ.
All right, so I really really debated on this one, but I think this is my wild pick. It's going to be Soul from the Acolyte in Heroic Blue. I think that he's going to make an appearance.
Is it just SOL?
Yeah, SOL. Yeah.
Is he's because he's not the artwork in that they displayed, is he?
Not that I noticed that.
Because there was a guy, but I don't think it was Soul. So
no.
All right. Well, since we're going, I don't know. I'll go hero. I will just take the easy one and just call out Yoda. I think we're gonna get another Yoda, and I'll put him in green. So they probably should be blue again, but maybe we'll just get a green Yoda. We don't have a green Yoda yet, so.
Okay. I'm going to just assume they're going to give us another Palpatine, so there's always going to be Palpatine. So I don't know, Darth Sidious, whatever you want to call him, Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah,
Let's do blue.
Sidious.
Let's do blue. Switch it up a little.
I'll put Palp again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking along the same lines that we're going to get another Count Dooku, and it's going to be in green as well. So we're going to do Darth Tyrannus in villainy green.
All right, good one. I'm going to go crazy. I think I'm going to take Balin as a villain, and I'm going to put him in red.
Oh, I actually had him.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
I did. I'm just like, oh, that Ray Stevenson dude.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's been replaced now. Who replaced him, JJ? Who's the
guy who plays the Hound on Game of Thrones?
Yes, whatever his name is.
I was going to say John Bernthal.
No, that would be fucking amazing.
Just like the Punisher.
Yeah, give that. Oh man, I would love that so much. I would. That would be amazing. So I chose Balin. I put him in red. I don't know if he will be red or he feels reddish to me. So
that was exactly what I was going to do.
All right. Well, there you go. Your next pick is Balin in red. There we go. That's easy, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had that one. I didn't have to copy off you guys.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the next one I'm gonna pick here. I figure we definitely need to see them come back again. We're going to see a Obi-Wan Kenobi, but as a Padawan, and I'm gonna put him in Hero Blue.
Are all your Jedi going to be blue, JJ?
Well, Sabine was green, so
yeah, sure. Sabine is green.
She's a Jedi.
Sabine is a Jedi.
Yeah.
Or she'll become a Jedi. How about that? I will take. I think the next one I'll take Snoke.
I was gonna do that too.
I'm debating between red and blue though, because I also have Mother Talzin.
That's green though.
You think she's green? Why?
I think she's green. Just because she doesn't attack directly. She's more about like the earthly magics. So that's why I picked green.
All right.
Well, then nothing about her, and that was the last color.
All right. Well, I'm Jesus. I'm gonna put Snoke in blue. Then that's fine. I'll just take Snoke in blue.
Okay, let's go with a hero character. Oh man, I have no idea what color. It's gonna be Cal Kestis, right? Because we have a ship. I was thinking yellow, so let's just do yellow again, I guess. Just Ahsoka and Cal. That's where we're going for yellow.
All right.
You have to play the game, but someone pointed it out. That's his ship.
It is. Yeah.
So we're gonna go with villainy yellow, and it's gonna be Sifo Dyas.
How do you spell that?
Syfo and then Dias.
Are you gonna tell everybody where that's from? I feel this is like
that is the person who ordered the clones. He's the person who ordered all the clones to be made.
Yeah. I don't remember him being a Force user though.
Yeah, he's a master.
Jedi master.
He was a Jedi master. Yeah.
Apparently.
Okay. He fell. He fell to the dark side because of Tyrannus. And also it's my pick, not Alex's.
I thought that was Nala Say who did all the clones.
Well, she manufactured it, but he put in the order. He paid the money.
Wow.
He hit Amazon next day delivery. That's what he did.
Oh my god.
It took him 10 years.
A lot of rain, you know.
All right. I will take the next one, and I am going to say I'll pick a hero this time, and I'm going to say Kanan Jarrus, and I'm going to put him in blue.
Yeah, that's a fair one. Yeah.
And I actually had him.
Well, you can use them too. I mean,
no, we're gonna do something different, I guess.
Okay. I think he's right though. Like, I think I feel Kanan like just fits overall for everything, and
yeah,
he's such a popular character. I don't know.
Let's do green hero, and I'm going to try and finally get a Plo Koon leader.
Yeah, we'll get a Plo Koon, I'm pretty sure.
I hope so.
I have Plo Koon, but I don't have him in green. But I agree with you. I think Plo Koon's there. So
he's cool. He's got that thing in the face mouth.
All right, JJ.
It's probably way too early for this, but coming in yellow hero, it's going to be Grogu Jaren.
What?
All right. If this is the one you're right on, I'm going to be, just so you know. Like, I just want you to.
It's just Grogu, right?
Yeah, it's just Grogu. He took the Mando's last surname. If he comes in, if he is a leader, you can the podcast yours. I'm done.
I don't know, man. Sipho seems crazier too, right? Like
that one seems pretty out there too. But like that one, I can at least understand. Grogu, nope, not at all. He's not elite. Okay, let's just keep moving before Tanner goes on the fucking rant. You know, like I'm just gonna go on this long rant. Because I picked Kanan, I have to pick Ezra, so I'm putting Ezra down. I'm gonna put him in red actually. For hero red, I'm picking Ezra. If I'm getting a Kanan, I better get an Ezra. So
yeah.
He led stuff too, I guess.
Yes.
At some point. Okay. Right on. Let's do yellow villainy, and let's just say Savage.
Ooh, you think we're gonna get another one?
I do not know 8 evil force users.
Okay, all right.
So Savage is my pick.
All right.
Yeah, I was kind of wrecking my brain for the same thing, but I actually had him in red, mainly because his ground unit that they revealed is red. So I think kind of makes sense to put him in red, and I think he'll have to do something with like overwhelm, I would assume.
Both Savage units are in red.
Yeah.
All right. I guess. See, this is gonna screw up. I am gonna put. Man, I don't want to put that there. I'm gonna put Anakin. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna get a young Anakin, and I'm gonna put it in villain yellow. Yep, I feel we're gonna get a villain Anakin. People are saying we're gonna get another Darth Vader. I think we're just gonna get a villain Anakin. We had it in Destiny, so
okay.
I don't it could be wrong. I could be wrong, but give me a villain Anakin.
I was thinking about that, but then that's just Vader.
Not technically. He was villain.
Did he ever do anything with just the Anakin name?
Yeah, he killed all. Yes, he killed all the younglings. He killed all the kids. He killed a bunch of kids before he became Vader. And then he yelled at Obi-Wan, and Obi told him
I'm sorry, he was
ground.
evil Anakin for like 45 minutes.
All right, Alex, you're up.
Oh boy. Let's do. Yikes. I think Obi-Wan's going to be in here too. I don't want to put him in blue because that seems like really easy and right, but like it does seem like the right choice for Obi-Wan. So I guess we'll just have another blue leader Obi-Wan.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or did he like do any like cool commanding things? Could I put him in green? Is that a thing?
I don't think he really. I mean, I guess kind of.
Yeah, just blue. I guess is fine.
All right.
Whatever.
All right, JJ.
All right. Deep cut here. For my second red villainy, it's going to be Barris Offee.
No,
Oh.
no. God damn it.
Is that deep? I know who that is.
She impersonated a Sith. She took Asajj's red lightsabers and straight up killed people. Like, come on.
I was just wondering if that was a deep cut because I actually know who this person is.
It's kind of. I mean, it's from Clone Wars is where it happened. She doesn't have a book or anything, though.
She flew an Aether Sprite. That's all I know.
And she's got 3 episodes on Disney Plus by herself.
And she's on Traitorous.
Yeah, that's right.
That is true. She is definitely the embodiment of that card.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right.
And like the garbage 1/1 unit that no one used, but
All right. Let's go. I also believe that we are going to get another Rey. I don't really want to put Rey in blue, but I feel like
right?
like she just has to be blue. I don't know how else like to spin it.
That was my conundrum as well.
Like I don't feel she fits in green, and I guess she could be a red leader. Like we could get her as a red leader. I have
really aggressive,
right?
Just in the end, she was. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna put her in blue and call it a day because that's probably where she fits. So
that or like yellow because she was like a scrapper or whatever. Right?
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah,
that's.
She could be yellow. That's true. She could be yellow. So.
I ran out of my yellow slot, so I didn't put it in her. Let's do green hero. Just give me another Luke. I think they'll be fine in one form or another. Either like episode 6 or just angry old man Luke. Whatever works. I feel like we should probably have a Luke, right, in set rotation. So
yeah. All right, so I'm going to reach
we do
for...
have a Luke. We have a Luke from set 4.
Yeah. Well, people got to play him.
I'm going to go for blue villainy, and I'm going to go with the Master of Palpatine, who is Darth Plagueis, who we also saw in the Acolyte. So.
And I really hope you
showed up.
Yeah, I really hope you're wrong. I hope JJ fails this one. Like you have so many weird, crazy things. Like here, let's do Darth Plagueis. He had like one tiny little thing. He was mentioned in episode 1, and then
footnote of a book.
And then he had, he was part. Well, he had his own book, kind of. I mean, he was part of the Palpatine book. So that's actually a really good book. If you've not read that, Alex, you actually should read that book.
I have not read any Star Wars.
Okay, well, you should read that book specifically. It's actually really good insight into Palpatine. It'll help you play him better.
I have seen 10 movies, and that is my consumption of Star Wars media.
All right, well, we're gonna have to
play KOTOR and like the Force Unleashed, and I don't think Starkiller is gonna be in here, right? So,
damn! I should put him in.
I did. I actually have that down. I have Starkiller in there, but I don't know if it's right or not. That was like my
action defeat capital ship. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with an easy one though, and I'm just gonna put Palpatine again in my green slot. I think he's gonna be a Pal. I think we're gonna get another Palp. So
that's fair. It's fair. So I got that. So I actually I'm going to do red hero again, Anakin again, because I actually think they would do Anakin again, but I don't think the villainy that'd be kind of weird to me, because that's just Vader. Like
it's not, but it's fine. But let's play some Star Wars Destiny sometime, Alex. All right, JJ.
All right, so I definitely had Ezra listed in my yellow hero for this one.
Did he like become a leader? Wasn't he just like a child?
No.
I mean, he did become a leader in later seasons, yes, but he was always on that half part. He always called himself Jabba the Hutt every time he was captured by the Empire. So, I mean, that's pure scum and villainy right there. So.
Damn it, you're right. That is, isn't it? Oh well. All right. So I already did my Rey and my Kanan pick and my Yoda pick. I think we're gonna get another Mace, and I think we're gonna get a green Mace.
I was going back and forth on Mace.
Yeah, I think we'll get another Mace. I could be wrong, but I think we'll get a Mace. So he's a pretty iconic character in that Samuel L. Jackson there, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Alex.
Well, I can't really picture him being any other. Well, maybe like episode something. Why not? Let's just do. No, I can't really picture in anything else. Yeah, let's just do Kylo for Red Villainy. I figured Rey's gonna be here. I figure Kylo might as well be too.
Yeah, I have Kylo as well. So
Yeah, so Kylo for me was actually blue because I'm thinking Supreme Leader Kylo, and he was a lot more chill and a lot less aggressive in the later movies.
I briefly thought that until he just like maximum firepower to Ghost.
That's also true.
That's not chill.
That's true.
all right. Well, we'll go back to some my villainy yellow. So I guess we do Mother's Health because I also think she'll be in there in my green villain pick.
See, I just went with the whole family.
Fair enough. There's more. More. You probably don't know about half of them.
I just found out Savage was like a dude like 2 sets ago. So
All right. What's your next one, Alex?
yikes. I think they'll give us another Grand Inquisitor. Because I think we might as well, right? So I'm thinking let's just put him in green. Green villainy. Throw another Grand Inquisitor. He commanded Inquisitors. So I have 8 Force villains. So this is my full extent of this.
All right. JJ.
So my hero red is going to be Rey, just because Kylo's blue.
All right.
Right on.
Fine. I'm going to go Kylo red now. There you go. Then mine are opposite of yours. That way, if we're right, one of us will be really right and the other one will be really wrong.
You want to be like yellow.
Yeah, right, yellow.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really see Rey being red, so I just went with blue Rey again. Man, those picks are really lame. Obi-Wan and Rey for blue. But I don't think she really did anything else right.
Yeah.
Not really. So
I have someone special for red. That's going to be slightly out of I ran out of stuff, so this is slightly out of left field.
all right. JJ.
All right, so for my yellow villainy, I'm going to go with Inquisitor Reva from the Obi-Wan show.
For what color? Yellow?
Yellow, yep.
Did she have a boss and was a Grand Inquisitor?
Yeah, she stabbed Grand Inquisitor in the stomach, and she survived the stomach. She survived a stomach lightsaber stabbing from Vader.
Fair enough, I guess. Well, yeah. That would have been a cool pick.
All right. I will go back. I think we're going to get Cal in red. That's my belief. Red hero. So sorry to be lame, but we got the stinger. So we're getting somebody from that video game. I'm assuming it's going to be him. So.
Okay. So my slightly out of left field hero red. We're just going to go with Kit Fisto.
All right.
Why not?
Nice.
He's cool looking. And I'm pretty sure he did things.
Kind of, yeah.
It's that or like Ki-Adi-Mundi. So it's like
no, he's more probable than Ki-Adi-Mundi. So there we go.
So like Kit Fisto, his unit guard's kind of lame. We'll give him a redemption with the leader, you know.
There you go.
All right, so I'm gonna finish off my villainy green with Morgan Elsbeth.
Is she a Force user? I guess she is Force user,
yes.
Isn't she?
Yeah.
Man, maybe I know 9 of these.
All right, and then I will finish. No, I won't. I'll save that one to last. All right, I believe we are going to get another Ahsoka as well, but I believe it'll be in yellow, like you do too. So I believe we're going to get an Ahsoka. So
Yeah.
except for, can we call her by her code name? Like I almost
Fulcrum.
feel like that might be it, or are we going to go past the code name and go so far into like the time where we get her again back in her own show? So
Master Tano. Yeah.
do you know what her code name is?
I believe it's Fulcrum.
Yes,
It said that on the X-Wing card, so that's my assumption.
it is. Yes.
Cool. Let's see. So I also have Count Dooku. And I feel like Snoke's going to be blue, so I guess Dooku's yellow now.
All right, JJ.
I agree with you. Cal has to be a red hero, so that's my pick.
Look at you copying me. All right.
Was he really aggressive in the game?
He has issues with the dark side, light side type thing, quite a bit, and that's like actually a centralized type theme, and like where he kind of comes from, you know, like the orphan, like discovery type thing, and having to fend for himself. He's kind of like the Spider-Man of Anakin's. That's kind of what I always see. Like when we talk about like Spider-Man in the Marvel verse, like how he's the whiny teenage kid. That's how I see Cal. Like he's on that verge of, you know, do I or do I not? So
Just Anakin.
kind of. Anakin did it all for love though, so his was just solely a base on. He was just dumbass.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to give my controversial pick, which I guarantee you is not in this game, but I'm putting Star Killer in.
Nice.
And that's partially because of our team name for X-Wing, and partially because I have to try to outdo JJ in my crazy picks, and that's like one of them. So.
He's yellow, isn't he? Like the most aggressive person. That's how I played him in my game.
Yeah. He is pretty aggressive.
Okay,
right,
well,
fine.
my last pick.
Hold on,
sorry.
I will change. There you go. I'll switch Balin around. There you go. Just do that.
Gotta hope Balin's red in this game.
Feel like he's gonna be, but
he's got an orange lightsaber, so I mean it's fine.
Oh, ain't that fun? My last pick for blue villainy. I'm just gonna go with Snoke because that made the most sense, and I ran out of people.
All right, so it's come down to this. I'm saying that we're going to get another dual-sided leader, and it's going to be May and Osha from the Acolyte in the green slot.
Didn't they design this like 4 years ago? Wasn't like the Acolyte not even a thing?
I'm just saying, man. May and Osha. Yeah.
You're wrong. So I'll just flat out tell you you're wrong. 100%. Oh, you want to bet a showcase on this? I got a Han showcase. I'll bet you a Han showcase.
Wow.
No, I'm not betting on that. Are you kidding me?
Why not? You know I'm right.
Sabine obviously is the correct choice here.
I'm telling you, there's no way you're right on that. Alex is 100%. They did not know that existed when they created this. There's wow. All right. Well,
interesting though.
It's wrong. There's no way. Maybe like in another 6 sets, sure. All right. Well, my last one is not really that fun. It's just Plo. So, like, I also agree. I think we're gonna get a Plo leader. I actually want a Plo leader, and I will play Plo no matter what. Because Plo has, in my opinion, Plo looks the coolest out of all the Jedi. So, if I'm gonna play hero. Yeah, he has. He's like Ch'Chulu like without being Ch'Chulu. You know. Cthulhu, sorry. All right. Well, there you go. That was our way too early.
That's a list.
Way too crazy.
I predict JJ will get 4 right. There you go. I think you're gonna get 4 right. All right. I'm just kidding. You can have 6 right, but not anymore.
Is it Grogu?
It's not Grogu. I will tell you. I think JJ is wrong on Grogu. May and Osha, Soul, Sifo Dyas, and I will say Darth Plagueis. Those are the ones I think you're 100% wrong. Though Sifo Dyas and Inquisitor Riva could be switched. Like, we could see a Sifo Dyas. I could see a reality with Sifo Dyas and not Riva, or vice versa. I don't think we get either or get both. And I do not think we're going to get Riva. I think they would just give us another Grand Inquisitor instead because it's more popular. So Alex is very similar to mine. So I don't think your Kit Fisto is correct, but that's about the only one I
one
disagree
wild
with.
card, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely the wild card.
Because everything else is just like, well, I've seen this in a movie, so
yeah. It's funny how our predictions changed. We originally thought Legends was going to be like all characters of like characters not in canon, and it's not. So,
oh, I realized I don't have Vader on here.
Nope, you didn't put Vader. None of us put Vader.
I was intending on it. I guess you
didn't put Luke
replaced
either,
him with Savage.
I know. I just realized I didn't pick Luke or Vader, who are like the most iconic people on the Force.
I have Luke.
Oh man.
Yeah, he has Luke. You don't.
Yeah, Vader should 100% be on there. I'd take Vader over Savage.
Savage. All right, you want Vader in a yellow spot? A yellow Vader.
I guess this is what I came down to. Why not? Cunning Vader.
I would put Vader instead of Plagueis, honestly.
All right.
I don't know. Does Boba Fett have the Force trade? Because he'll be in this side if he does.
No, he does not. No more Boba. We're not getting any more Boba Fetts, I don't think. I hope not. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for our way too early predictions. It was fun. I like this segment. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I like to tally up to see who's right and who's wrong. All right. Well, for the last part tonight, we wanted to talk a little bit about some of the tournament analysis for week 4, 5. I don't know. It's a little bit better, I think, and a little bit worse. And we have an announcement coming this week, so we'll see kind of what FFG does. That being said, welcome to our Chaos of War. Welcome to our Chaos of War. Thank you all for joining us tonight. This is our discussion on the tournament analysis. I don't know, like there are some cool lists I found, and there's some cool results, but really I think the big thing is did Jango dominate? According to this, who won? Technically, Jango didn't win only but one thing, but that thing he won was not super fun. But so these are all the different events that happened. There was a couple of bigger tournaments, one in Liverpool, one in Denver. Those are the two or bigger ones that we're going to kind of cover some lists from tonight. But just so you could see, we have a link in the description for tournament, or the SWU Tournament Hub, and you can like check out all the different lists and all the different events from each of the different weekends. As you can see, Jango has now won 2 things. Again, I don't think that makes him OP. But as you can see, him being the winning leader of 42% probably means something's going to happen. And then if you kind of scroll down and we look at, in the top 8, he's hitting 44% of the top 8. So if you kind of look at the fact that he's won 42% of tournaments and 44% of top 8, there's probably got to be a change coming. We don't know what that is. Last week we speculated on that. You can go check out our video if you want on what we feel it would be. I don't want to get into it tonight. I don't want to have another conversation about it. Just FFG will tell us on Wednesday if anything's going to happen. But based on these numbers, I don't know. That's pretty indicative. The biggest problem I have, though, is like if people know the deck wins and they know this, they just take it, right? And so like we don't always have true competition, because if you're paying a bunch of money to go to an event, right? So if you're paying money to fly somewhere, you're paying for hotels, food, and the tournament price, are you going to take something that you don't know beats Jango or could be good into the field? You're probably taking just whatever the people are playing. And my biggest qualm with that is like I would prefer, and I said this last week, I prefer if FFG just told us this is how you beat Jango. You know, here, let's give you a curated deck list. This beats Jango. Merry Christmas. You know, but because Jango was part of the original design team who is not longer there, I do think that there is a possibility that Jango was not taken into consideration when all these other cards were created, and because of some of the newer cards, Jango rises a little bit higher. So let's start with Denver. We'll just start there. As you can see, the top 3 lists are Jango. The one that won it was a 30 health one. So I guess if you want to counter other Jangos, take the 30 health one. Is that the answer?
There's also another 30 health one in 8th.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also 30 health Jango is what, the 3rd most taken leader / base in the top 8 here?
Yeah.
Which is hilarious to me.
Yep. So you could either take Target Town or you could take 30 health base. Like, so
I do like actually they added the Radiant 7. I think that's like a severely underutilized card because I think that thing's awesome. And it seems really, really good against other Jangos.
It does. I actually put it in my Boba deck 2 weeks ago to counter Jangos because it felt very good into Jangos, especially TDRing that.
Yep.
Felt really good.
5 interact and then everything gets reversed grid. I have it in my Boba deck. Before like Jango was ever popular, so I just love that card. I think it's a pretty solid card.
Yep. So notable in here is we have a Luke Data Vault. We are going to cover that list because that's exciting. And so the story behind that, by the way, the story actually behind that is that's Steve from KTOD. And he actually took that just to win the Luke showcase. That's all he just had to be the top. You had to be the top Luke player to win the showcase. He actually was like, oh, if I get in, great. If I don't get in, whatever. Like, I just want the top Luke spot so I can get the Luke showcase. And well, he won the Luke showcase. And actually it makes me think maybe that would be fun to run when I go to Richmond. Cause like, I kind of want the Luke showcase too. Like, I actually like that Luke showcase art, and that would be something like I would keep and play for a while. I don't know. So the first list for the Denver SQ was the Death Watch. So this is the 30 health base. I'm not going to cover the list. Obviously, the notable changes is they have main deck electromagnetic pulse, which we predicted last week was the big change that should go into a lot of these decks, especially if you have to counter the mirror. Also notable is he has open fire in there. That's not ran by a lot of Jangos.
Well, he doesn't have the Tarkin Town, right? So you still need to
be able to kill things.
Do something. Yeah. That's my assumption.
It is, and it came in very handy in Jango mirrors. He also has Palpatines in the sideboard. And that's definitely something that's newer. And Cad Bane's. He just put a bunch of top end in there for a sideboard. And my assumption is it's somewhat to counter the mirror and the longer games like the Luke games and things like that. I can't remember if he was the one that played against the Luke player on stream or not, but we saw the Luke player a couple times on stream. And one time was against Jango. So I like the Palpatine editions. I think that's awesome. And I'm happy that people are getting tech that we told people that we talked about that before. Like that is Palpatine is just a great card. Period.
They ran the Palp and the Cat at the very, very beginning of last set in Jango decks.
Yeah.
Because you don't have things like Devastators and War Juggernauts and all that stuff. So probably been playing since then or realized that they're pretty useful. But also, when you have Jango out and they haven't managed to kill him, Palpatine will just exhaust 6 things.
Yeah, I had Palpatine in my sideboard, and that was the same thing as I had that and Sneak Attack back in the day, and because you just Sneak Attack a Palpatine out. If I have to bring Palpatine in, I'll bring Sneak Attack in, therefore, boom, see ya, have a nice life. I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. The other top deck, this one is the more low to the ground one. That we saw what I would call more of the aggro style deck, and my personal opinion is that's probably why in the long run it did not win over the other one, because the other one has some better top end than this deck does. Plus, it has less health. This one, again, there's nothing like super spicy other than those Kimajilas is kind of in there for a little bit more indirect damage. And then, of course, the sideboard. I love the on the doorstep that was brought in for the mirrors. And the planetary bombardment, which I guess can be good. I don't know. So those were the top 2 lists. Now let's talk about the Luke list, because I actually want to cover this list because I find this list super fun. JJ, you wanna shout out this list and tell us what's in it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got the set 1 Luke. It feels like forever since we've seen this Luke come out here, but he comes in with the Data Vault, which is the 33 health base. Comes in with 3 copies of Alliance Dispatcher, 3 R2D2s, 3 Battlefield Marines, 3 Arc 170s, 3 copies of I can't read that card for some reason. Covering the way, I guess.
Covering the way.
Yeah. Oh, covering the wing. Yeah, there we go. That's it. And then after that, we got 3 additional copies here of Blue Leader, 3 copies of the Concord Down Interceptors, 3 Fleet Lieutenants, 3 Sabine's Masterpieces, 3 Village Protectors, 3 Resupplies, 2 Perilous Positions, 3 Bright Hopes, 3 copies of Kanan Jarrus, 2 Fellow Dragons, 3 Takedowns, 3 copies of Obi-Wan Kenobi, 2 Rivals Falls, 3 copies of Luke Skywalker, 3 Home Ones, and 3 copies of Redemption. This feels like a very, very classic, like blue-green Luke that still does very, very well. And on the sideboard, we got 3 Scanning Officers, 2 copies of Tech, 3 Satine Wrens, and 2 copies of Choose Sides on there for the sideboard there. Definitely has a lot of options there to play like low cost of cards and then build up to those large units. You have that resupply that helps you ramp up there to get you to your Obi-Wans and your Home Ones and Redemptions and Luke Skywalkers there, and enough ability. The benefit of having those low cost of cards is that gives you extra resources for Luke to give them shields in order for them to last that additional turn and help delay until you can build up and ramp up to your other stronger units there. So definitely a really interesting list. I would love to put this together and play it.
Yeah, it looks very, very similar to a Luke list that I have. I wonder if only having 12 first turn units is consistent enough. I mean, in a 60 card deck, right? I guess covering the wing does create an X-Wing token, but it's kind of not really what you wanted to use it for. But it looks good. The Sabine's Masterpiece is interesting. You get the Restore and the Experience, which is cool. Fleet Lieutenant, pretty much everything in here is Rebel. And top end is really hard for some decks to deal with if you get up there. So, and I love the main decking, the Rivals.
Yeah, I think also, I think if you look at the math, if you have the churn 1 plays, 10 churn 1 plays for a 50 card deck, 12 churn 1 plays for a 60 card deck is fine. So if you were to go with 12 churn 1 plays, then this one's probably a little bit short, but not by much, right? So, I think that would be the other consideration, is that that technically you would want 14-ish churn 1 plays in a 60 card deck. So
it looks like you get a 75% chance of drawing a first turn play. And yes. I'm not including like covering the wing as first turn play, but that does raise the odds as well.
Yeah, and says you can mulligan. I don't know. I mean, he took it all the way, like in over a 400 person event. He took it all the way to top 6.
I mean, I'm not doubting the skill or anything. I'm just like, that just seems a little bit lower than what I would naturally feel. But again, 75% chance.
Yeah. So
I
like it.
1 in 4 games you miss it, but also you mulligans. So
yeah. The next one that kind of came up is the Boba Fett deck. Like, and I don't think we have to like cover this. We've kind of covered these before. The spicy thing is there's 3 Darth Vader units in there. I have one Darth Vader unit I'm running in my sideboard. So that's kind of crazy.
More sources for Boba, and also 3/3 for your ships is pretty good.
Yeah.
No Dengar though.
Yep, they don't have any Dengar. They don't also have any of the Radiants in there. So their top end is a little bit lower. I like the Cad Banes at the sideboard. I think that's kind of cool. They don't have sneak attacks in main. They go with surprise strikes instead. I would probably cut a surprise strike and a no good to be dead to put sneak attacks in the main, but they also have less stuff that they want to sneak in. Though I don't know, like I'll be honest, if you can sneak attack a Vader in, that's pretty fucking good too. So
the wild thing is that the yellow fast fire sprays aren't even in the main deck.
No, I actually replaced mine with Radiance. So I did the same thing. I put mine.
Which I can respect. It's just, it does come in ready. Sometimes that matters.
So against Jango, I found it doesn't matter at all. And I think if we go back to the board where Jango doesn't live, then maybe it will matter some more. I also don't like those TIE bombers. I got rid of mine. I dumped my TIE bombers. I just do not like them. They never perform for me.
They're an okay distraction.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like. Like, they're fine. You're dealing indirect damage. If they don't have that many units out, their value goes up a lot. But if they have multiple units or ways of handling things, or or they just drop a space sentinel, they're significantly less useful.
Yeah, in that spot, I have the Boba Fett unit. I don't have 3 of them. I only have 2 of them, but I have the Boba Fett unit in that spot.
The pilot or the 3 cost?
Well, I have the 3 cost as well, but I have the pilot one is what I have in that spot. Okay. And I have that in there because I've had turns where I sneak attack something in and then throw a Boba pilot on there and get that extra damage because it's that stupid, for example, that droid platform, the missile droids.
Android missile platform.
Yeah. Like a Boba on that is super fun, especially if you can't tap it down. It's there you go. I just now swung in for 6, plus you're getting the 3 damage, plus I get to do 2 damage somewhere else. And Boba Fett's ability, it's actually I found pilot Boba, even when I don't 100% always need it, is really good.
Honestly, IG 88 pilot is actually not too bad either. I rarely put him as a pilot. More so, it's just, he's a 7 attacking, 5 cost ground unit. Try to deal with it. Also makes an excellent distraction.
He does. Yep. I like him too. I don't have him in my deck currently, but I think if we see a Jango Fett change here, yes, this deck changes. I think this deck immediately changes up.
I think that is why it's built kind of this way.
Yeah. So I like it though. The other data vault that we saw was a Yoda data vault. Have we covered a Yoda deck? Because this deck's wild, by the way.
I believe it was Charmer from Ice Cave Radio was running something very similar at the Lansing BQ where we were at, with the Endless Legions trick and all that. But now you have a Starhawk, so that thing costs a lot less. This deck is wild. I'll go over it. It's so cool. It's funny. So yeah, Data Vault Yoda. So 60 cards. You got triple Battlefield Marine, triple Luke Pilot, triple the Phoenix Squadron, A-Wing, triple Regional Governor, triple Spark of Hope, triple Blue Leader, double of the Escort Fighter. That's the 4/1 ambush. 1 tech. Tragic. Triple Village Protectors, triple Resupply, triple You're My Only Hope, double Bright Hope, triple Takedown, double Obi-Wan, double Rivals Fall. All that seems pretty normal. Now it starts to get out of control. Double Cad Bane, the Yellow Villainy, triple Luke, 1 Radis, 2 Tantive 4s, triple U-Wing, 1 Architon's Assault Cruiser, triple Redemption, 1 Relentless, double Starhawk, 1 Annihilator, and double Endless Legions. And in the side, you got double Scanning Officer, double the Concord Dawn Interceptors, double Direct Hit, double the MC-30s, 1 Rivals Fall, and 1 Turbo Laser Salvo. I mean, Yoda does cycle cards, so you can hit your one-offs a little bit more, but also it's a 60-card deck. But yeah, just play the Starhawk, and then just play Endless Legions next turn for 7. And then unleash your annihilators, relentless Cad Banes, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out if this is the guy that was on stream. There was a guy that on stream got a Endless Legions off. Like,
Incredible.
actually got it off on stream. It was hilarious. Like, I was like, holy crap. Like, I've never seen anybody on stream get something like that off. Like, that's how crazy he did.
I guess
think it's
Legions would cost 8 because it's not a double green. Well, whatever. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's that guy. I think this is the guy, but I'm not 100% sure. I think his name was like Giovanni or something like that.
If you got double redemption in your resource row, just heal A, then play another redemption and heal more if you need it. But yeah, it's always fun to just see Endless Legions pop off and then like, hey, look at Yoda, and he has just like an annihilator. But man, you really have to make sure you can stabilize and get into the Starhawk and that combo.
Yeah.
Or just wait until you're down to 5 health and just you're my only hope. But anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy that like the my only hope, like that triggered like all the time with that guy. Like I think this one, I don't know if it is or not, but all I know is when they triggered the Endless Legions on stream, like it was hilarious because like all of a sudden all these units come out and like they're like there's 10 minutes left in the round and you would think the other side would just concede. Like just concede, you're not gonna win. There's nothing you can do to tap all these down. Your Jango's dead. Like I don't know. I like this deck. I think this is crazy. Well, I don't know. I don't think I could run this. I would definitely have more text in there personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm all for the Spark of Hopes again. Like we talked about that before. I don't like
put things into your resource pile though.
That is true.
Which is important for Endless Legioning things.
Yeah. I don't know. Endless Legions always just feels like a win more, but
sometimes it's your only hope.
It is. The next one we have is a Leia Lake County, right? Like we don't. It's not just Leia like double green. Like they're like, no, we don't care about double green. We're gonna go with Leia Gray because we can.
At 4 extra health,
Oh, crazy. So yeah, you could run Data Vault though for 3 extra health, and then I guess it dilutes your pool. But there's so many rebels nowadays, though. So I haven't seen this list, so we're going to cover this one too. He's got 2 of the R2D2 pilots, 3 Rebel Assaults, 2 Alliance X-Wings, 3 Battlefield Marines, 3 Luke Skywalker pilots, 3 Phoenix X-Wings, 3 of the Fleet Admirals, which I think is a genius include. I think more people should be running that card than currently are.
They are rebels too, which is actually pretty impressive. But yeah, anytime your opponent draws one or more cards, like during the action phase, which is like TDR.
Yep.
TDR experience.
Yep, you get an experience. It just seems really good in that meta. Blue leader, 3 blue leaders, 2 echo based defenders, 3 fleet lieutenants, 2 Leias, 3 wing leaders, 2 surprise strike trues, 3 bright hopes, 3 Chewbacca's, 2 of the
timely reinforcements, the X-Wing building ones.
Yep, which is crazy. That's in there. 3 General Recons, 3 Ewing's resupply or Ewing reinforcements, and 2 of the home ones. In their side, they have 1 air superiority, 1 Admiral Yularen. Yeah, I guess 1 Admiral Yularen, 1 of the Echo Base Defender, 3 Take Captive, 2 Traitorous, and 2 Tantives. Wild. This is a wild deck. Like, just
take captive with something Chewbacca's on. You know how frustrating that is?
Yeah.
It is but that's just wild. That's so cool. I like this deck a lot.
Yeah, this is definitely something like when I saw this, I was like, oh my god, we have to cover this. Because like this is definitely like when you talk about like the shell of this with it being Rebel. Isn't even your typical Rebel shell because usually it's a red Rebel shell that you play with this. This is we're going to give you an all green gray Rebel shell and somehow it's going to work. I don't like the timely reinforcements personally, but that's just me. Though I don't know what I'd put in there. Like I don't know.
It is good against like big space stacks, right? Because you end up building 3-ish X-Wings and they all get Sentinel. so I can see why it's in there. It's just, yeah, it's a little bit wonky. But also, you are a single green deck.
Yeah.
So you might be a little bit thin on some cards.
Yeah.
Or like the utility of these things, right? Like, because once they get past your Bright Hopes, what other Space Sentinels do you have?
Nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Should be more Endless Legions, though.
Yeah, but it's... All right. Now we're going to move on to the Milan sector qualifier. This one had a little bit more diversity in its top cut. A couple of Jangos still hit the top 4, of course. Bosk Blue took it down, which I'm very surprised that took it down against Jango, but all right, that's pretty cool. We haven't seen that win anything this set yet, so that's kind of nice. There's an Anakin in there that was cool, and a Gar Saxon making it, and then a Han Blue made it up there. So again, this makes you think Jango isn't broken. Like this top 8 like feels a little bit better.
I think a lot of things that happen to be very good against Jango are very bad against the rest of the field. with a couple exceptions of like really hard control kind of things. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, and I apologize. This is the Liverpool, not the Milan sector qualifier. I don't know if that makes a difference, but so
they're a little bit further away from each other.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little. So this is the Bosk Blue deck. Alex, what is this? What is this control? Yes. I ran the similar version of this before. I don't know.
I get no glory.
I get no glory, no guts or whatever, or no glory, only results. Yeah, I like this. It's pretty cool.
So it's a 30 health blue base Bosk. You get 1 restock because, of course, triple top target, triple grenade strike, double shoot down. Probably pretty relevant. Triple death mark, triple client, triple make it opening, double merciless contest, triple open fire, triple power of the dark side, triple perilous, triple takedown, triple vigilance, triple no glory early results, 1 rivals, triple Palpatine, triple Stoke, triple super laser, double Avenger. In the side, you have 1 copy of Entrenched, triple mission briefing. That's the one that you just draw cards. Just draw 2 cards. Triple Cham, right? Cham Sedula?
Yep.
Which is kind of weird. I guess there's like Piet decks and stuff that'll ramp you, right? Double Chilson and 1 copy of the Bounty Hunter's Crew. That's the one that gets you an event from your discard pile. Interesting to note. No Fell the Dragons.
Yep. And only 1 rivals.
You don't need them. Yeah. I guess you don't need it. But yeah, I mean, it's just pretty hard control. Try to claim bounties with Bosk. Try to double claim the client or the top target bounties for double digit healing. Or just draw a bunch of cards with Deathmark. Pretty wild. Never really super into Blue Bosk, but I have played around with it before. Still kind of prefer green, just 'cause bigger units are funny.
Yeah. I don't know. This deck's crazier to me. Like they opted in for Grenade Strike over Bombing Run, right? Like I don't know. Bombing Run feels like it could fit in here too. And yeah, not having a second rivals just seems criminal. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
They also aren't running Search Your Feelings either in here,
right? Which feels a little bit bad after playing that trench deck where I'm just, I really need this. But it's also not the trench deck.
Yeah. I don't know. It's cool. I like it. It's definitely different. The next one is the Jango Fett Tarkentown that lost to it.
This one is Dooku. The units in there.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, 1 Boba unit, 2 jetpack units, and Dooku. I'm assuming the jetpacks are to tech against the other Jangos, right? Like it's the middle finger to the other Jangos.
If I have a shield.
Yep.
And planetary bombardments on the side too. That's really nice.
Yep. And Chams are in the side, which I thought was a thing, but I guess not. I don't know. Like I thought that was a big thing. Like Chams in the side makes sense against other ramp decks. Or sometimes it kind of makes sense even against Jango. You slap that mother down and I don't know.
Sure.
But anyway, nothing else really big shocking.
That's the major differences. Yeah.
The Dooku's, I like the Dooku call personally. That's just me. But they're also running 3 sneak attacks, so that makes sense. With the Dooku's. So
if you haven't Dooku'd double raiders, it's rough.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah. They also have the 9 1-cost units in there too, which is pretty interesting. The triple it was the one from like Italy, right, that we saw last week.
Mm-hmm. It's a more aggro-ish version of the Jango decks that we hadn't seen as much in the States. So, all right, the next one is Anakin Colossus. I don't know. Have we gone over an Anakin blue deck?
Not this. No.
All
right.
But I've seen actually pretty similar ones to this.
Yeah, JJ, you want to cover this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Anakin in the Colossus here. So we got 3 copies of R2-D2, 3 Daring Raids, 3 Force Throws, 2 Anakin's Interceptors, which I absolutely have grown to love. They're great. 3 C-3POs, 2 covering the wings. We got 3 copies of Shoot Down, 3 Cassian Andors, 3 Concord Dawn Interceptors, 3 Red Squadron X-Wings, 3 copies of Yoda's, 2 Perilous Positions, 2 Kanan Jarruses, 3 Steel Guerreras, 2 Direct Hits, 3 Felder Dragons, 1 Takedown, 2 Rivals Falls, 3 copies of Luke Skywalker, and 3 Redemptions. And then for the sideboard, we got 2 copies each of Restock Tech and Crate Dragon, and then we have 1 copy of Chewbacca and 3 Camps and Doodles. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So I like this a lot, actually. It's definitely more of a control version of Anakin, which is something that we don't really see too much, between all the Daring Raids and Force Controls and Perilous Positions and such. It's just really interesting to see this blue mixed in with Anakin, who tends to be much more aggressive with the units. Between R2-D2 and C-3PO, you can pull out those bigger units and then just, delay until you can play those bigger cards to help push the game to the closing there. But I definitely like the control that you have here, definitely with all the different cards there to just shut down your opponent's offense and push damage through later on. Once you deploy Anakin along with your other strong units, you just make a really big unified front to push in damage into your opponent's base. So I like this list a lot.
C-3PO is wild in this, though, right?
C-3PO is kind of weird to me, but like Anakin, right? You just do 2 damage to your base and then you swing with a unit.
Yeah.
So attacking for 3 while having 4 health should probably kill most of their first turn plays. So I can kind of see that, because otherwise you got the R2-D2, and I guess you call 3 because you got 14 cards that cost 3, but it's cool. I enjoy it. Stila, there's a bunch of tactics that are really good. Covering the wings, a tactic. Shoot down's a tactic. And so is direct hit. So you got more of the tactic pulling. You usually got Stila Guerreras and like the blue Mace Windu deck from last set.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling the tactics like that, but seems good. Seems interesting. The Red Squadron X-Wing, draw an extra card.
So I like it. I think it's good. And that Blue Squadron X-Wing lives, right? And the next turn it can kill something with 5 health. So
right.
You don't care. It's gonna die anyway. It's there for a body and then to kill something. That's what it's there for.
And you can make your Anakin attack for 10 with Colossus, because it goes up to 30 damage on your base. I guess.
All right, the next one I want to cover, good old Palpatine Blue. Alex, let's talk about this list, because there's some one-offs in here. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. So this list, of course, it's Dagobah Swamp, as it should be.
No.
You got double Salacious, double Piet, double your Lauren, triple Inferno 4, triple the Onyx Squadron Brute, double Emperor's Royal Guards. What happened? How might you have fallen? Triple Super Laser Attack, triple Power of the Dark Side, triple Resupply, double Perilous, double Takedown, triple Vigilance, triple No Glory, one Traitorous, one Rival's Fall, triple Vader, double of the Fleet Interdictors, double Reinforcement Walker, double Snoke, triple Super Laser Blast, double Avenger, one Devastator, one Annihilator. In the side, you have one Restock, triple Devotion, which I'm sure is really good against indirect damage decks. Triple Pulse Return, one Relentless, a second Devastator, and a second Annihilator. It seems very up your alley, honestly, Tanner. Big spaceships, some ramp, and then just a whole bunch of kill and healing things.
Yeah, I think the difference, I mean, I actually am not 100% against the Emperor's Palpatine only being 2 of. Like, I get it. Like, but really, if in a Jango meta, like, to me, it just makes more sense. Like, I like having it with Jango. Like, oh, you tapped it down, but it still lives, right? Like, whatever.
Yeah, you only got 4 officials, really. I mean, like, Snoke's an official, and so is Palpatine, but, like, that's way late game.
Yes, exactly. And
no clients, though, including in the side. That's the wild part to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no clients. There's also no Pershings, like, which I guess you don't have to have. I guess Pershing's not an official, is he? Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah. No. You don't have any Krennics in here. Like, Krennic is like an official. Like, Krennic is really good. I am not a fan of the Admiral Piats. I understand why people play them, but like, whatever. I guess like I would be running Krennic in that spot personally. I also am not a fan of one-off things. I just don't understand. I would be running triple Avenger and then 2 Devastators. And then I would have 2 Annihilators in the sideboard. I would also have 2 Relentless in the sideboard too, but that's just me. So
a little bit weird, the one-off Traitorous.
Yeah, I wouldn't run that. I wouldn't run that either. I get it. Like, it's like a, I don't know. I don't like Traitorous anymore, but I guess like in a meta where you're running lower cost ships, it makes sense. But
hey, Poe leader does not give the leader trait to something.
I know, so you can still Poe leader. Yeah.
So you can steal Poe, but if you steal someone's leader, like we talked about, several weeks ago when we were talking about rules things, it just kills both the unit and the leader.
Yeah.
I guess that's a very niche interaction, but you can do it.
Yeah, and there's no Mauls. I'm very sad. I like my Mauls so much. They're one of my favorite cards.
The triple Vaders.
You do.
Sad, no tie daggers. I haven't really seen those in too many Palpatine decks. They're in my Palpatine deck, which allows me to run Vader, where I ambush first and then pull the cards, and then I can actually reach up to 7 with the tie daggers, but I also get a body off of it instead of playing Maul.
I suppose that's true.
But I also have like Tarkin Town Palpatine, right? So like there's a lot of damage being slung around. Those tie daggers do some work. People should look back into that for Palpatines. They're good.
Yeah. I'm surprised they're not being used in like Boba Fett's or, like I had it in my Boba Fett deck for a little while. It just was less impactful than I thought it would be. But it works very well.
Palpatine, it's pretty nice in Palp, not gonna lie. And like you don't really care about palping it because it's a 2/2. You're just using it for the 2 damage and the damage things.
Yeah. So the last one is an Obi Green. We're not going to cover it. But
sorry, Justin.
Like I'm not covering it just because of Justin. I'm not covering it. But this deck is this is the JJ deck here. Like so many one-ofs in here. Like, why do I need one of General Recon? Why do I need one of Redemption, 1 home 1? Like, nah.
1 dogfight, 1 forces with me, 1 Akbar.
Yeah, but I got 3 regional governors. Don't worry, guys. I can name something, and then you can kill my regional governor the next turn. And
name it again.
You get to heal 1 with Obi-Wan. It's not super bad.
Right. That's true because they can't Tarkin Town it as easy. That's fair. But I don't know. I'm not going to cover the deck. I think we've covered this before. This deck is just. I don't understand how this deck works. It just shows you that there is some value in Obi-Wan that we had not seen before. We've talked a little bit more about Obi-Wan, And the fact that you could run this kind of wild of a deck and do in the top 25 in a 400 larger than 400 person tournament shows that Obi-Wan has something that we originally had missed, and shows that Obi-Wan should be given a little bit more consideration. And especially in this meta, I think. I won't lie and say, like, we've tested Obi Yellow and Obi Red. Both of those have been like testing decks. Justin obviously ran the Obi Yellow deck, but like those are just, Obi has become a little bit, this is a little too inconsistent for me. If I was going to do this, I'd want that extra 3 health with the other base so I can make this more consistent. If I want all these weird odd numbers, I don't know.
But I mean, blue-green hero tends to do pretty well, right? It's durable and it restores.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this is doing.
Yeah, there's no covering the wing, which is weird. I think that would just be an easy include.
And then backup's wild.
Yeah, and then it has like Spark of Hopes, but no resupplies, right? Like, so like, and only 2 of them. So it wants a kind of ramp, but not really.
And then 2 General's Blade, 2 Jedi Lightsabers. Like, well, I get it, but like, choose kind of which one you want. Do you want the raw damage output controlling of Jedi Lightsaber, or do you want the unit cheats of General's Blade?
Yeah.
If you're running Hu Yang's, which has 3 of them, I'd probably just go with the General's Blade the whole way.
Yep, because it's easy just to upgrade him and let him run away.
But man, Obi-Wan with a Jedi lightsaber is just so hard to out.
Yeah, and they're not running any. They're not running any Obis, and they're running 1 forces with me. Like, and no rival. There's no rivals fall. I don't know. Whatever.
You got 2 direct hits.
You got 2 direct hits, and you got 1 general weekend. So I don't know. It's again. I put this on here more for the conversation piece of, like, I think Obi is a thing that we should be considering in this meta. Obi tends to be one of those decks where people will get a little, like, well, this whatever, but that 1 heal is better than what we originally thought. And the fact that if you do get to ramp, you can come out on the same churn that Jango comes out, and it just kind of stops the Jango pretty easily. And if you haven't played your resources, you throw a freaking Jedi lightsaber on Obi, then like the game, it's just game over at that. Like, there's nothing Jango's going to be able to really do to stop some of that. So, well, all right. I think that's it, right? That's all of the lists. I don't really have a lot more I want to go through, and I think everything hinges on this Wednesday, right? Like, this Wednesday will dictate what changes they're going to make, if any, to the meta, and that kind of helps us entail like how we want to build a deck. I think that Obi deck will never have to change because it's just crazy enough. It doesn't like counter anything. It's just its own weird.
Well, Obi is also very, very specifically good into Quinlan and like Cad Bane as well, and both those are also very, very strong decks.
Yeah. So I think we'll see kind of what happens. Like, I don't know if we're gonna get a different meta out of this, how it's gonna work. There is concern if you just ban Jango, like, does the Hans and Sabines kind of come back? And if the Hans and Sabines come back, like, are we really changing anything but saying, okay, well, that 40% Jango was eating up is now going to be, like, Hans, 17% is now going to go back up to 25%. And Sabine, that's now like a 5%, is going to go up to, 15%. So I'm not super sold personally on the Jango ban. Like we talked about last week, I'm more sold on what if we changed and ban cards that go around and enable Jango a little bit more. But we'll see. It's up to FFG. It's not up to us. So it's inconsequential what we say. They get to make the rules. But with that being said, we'll be excited next week to talk a little bit about the changes. Maybe if there's a big enough change, we'll rebuild some of the decks that we had talked about. We will not build you a Jango deck if they ban TDR, though. It's just going to go back to the other brown version I had at the beginning of set 3. So, but yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. Hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more to do, and we'll have some other decks that we could talk about. I have an Ahsoka or an Asajj deck that I kind of want to cover with you guys and talk about deck building with Asajj, and like what are some of the positives and negatives, and talk about how do you choose which color you want to go with certain characters. So I think Asajj is a good one, because I think Asajj is like that cusp. If Jango doesn't exist in the mana, can Asajj actually be really good? I mean, I think she can, personally. So anyway, that being said, thank you all. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the flippity flop.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.